نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم رسوله النبي الأمين المكين الحنين الكريم الرؤوف الرحيم. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال الله تعالى في شأن حبيبه إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما تحب وترضى بأن تصلي عليه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض والجبال فأبين أن يحملنها وأشفقن منها وحملها الإنسان إنه كان ظلوما جهولا. صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Most respected ulama, my respected elders, brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I'm narrating a hadith to you which is in Sahih Muslim and has been narrated to us by none other than Sahibus Sir, the keeper of the prophetic secrets, Sayyidina Huzaifa al-Yaman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. What's unique about him is that other Sahaba Ikram Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in used to ask the Prophet of Allah about this issue of jurisprudence and that issue relating to social interactions, etc., whatever it may be. But he particularly used to ask the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam about matters concerning the end of times, what we call today in terms of eschatology. And he was also the keeper of the prophetic secrets, in that the Holy Prophet ﷺ trusted him so much that he informed Huzaifa al-Yaman radiallahu ta'ala anhu as to who the hypocrites were amongst the people of Al-Madinatul Munawwara. So he's known as Sahibus Sir, the keeper of the prophetic secrets. He narrates this hadith in Sahih Muslim. And I want you to pay careful attention to it, because this hadith refers particularly to events that are going to occur in the last days, in the final days, or are portents of the last and the final days. So we know when we see these signs manifesting and we see these portents, we are close to the end of times. Sayyidina Huzaifa al-Yaman radiyallahu ta'ala who said, because of time, I'm not going to read Arabic, you can read it. In fact, I'll just put it onto our group, inshallah, because it's something that you need to memorize if you can, in terms of the gist of the hadith. He said, the Holy Prophet ﷺ narrated to us two portions, two hadiths, meaning, but he put it together, and he says these are, like they follow one another. He says, I've seen one portion of this hadith of the Prophet ﷺ crystallized into a reality in my lifetime, and I'm waiting for the other to occur. And he told us this. And what is this about? The Holy Prophet ﷺ gave us the history, past, present, and future, of amana. Al-amana, which is trust, or what we would call trustworthiness. And first he gives us the history of al-amana. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, he said, trustworthiness, al-amana, descended in the innermost root of the hearts of people. Meaning, amana is something which is part of your fitrah. It is a divinely bestowed quality and attribute and characteristic in every human being. And where is it located? It is located in the root, at the very bottom, it's like the very essence of the hearts of people. And this is testified to by the Holy Quran. Inna aradna al-amana ala samawati wal ardi wal jibal. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offered this trust, amana ala samawat. He offered it to the heavens. You know how massive the heavens are. Wal ard, and to planet Earth, terra firma. Wal jibal, and to the mountains. فَأَبَيْنَا أَن يَحْمِلْنَهَا. Space and the heavens, in spite of all of its vastness, and earth, in spite of all of its strength, and the mountains in terms of their weight, refuse to take on the responsibility which is known as al-amana. But who took it on? Quran says, فَأَبَيْنَا يَحْمِلَ وَأَشْفَقَنَ مِنْهَا. And they say, no, Ya Allah, we are not worthy, we are incapable of this. وَحَمَلَهَا الْإِنسَانِ. But human beings took on the responsibility, were willing to accept al-amana. So the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, trustworthiness first descended in the innermost hearts of people. It's a divinely bestowed quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and characteristics of Allah, which is part, so to speak, of our nature. And then the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, then the Quran was revealed, and they learned from the Quran and they learned from the Sunnah. Meaning, this trust is innate. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it and established in the very core of our hearts. And it is the Holy Quran and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that empowers us, educates us, and enables us to fulfill all the requirements of al-amana. Meaning, if we are entrusted with something, then the Quran and the Sunnah teaches us how to fulfill these responsibilities, how to preserve and protect that which we have been made responsible for. Okay? Then the Holy Prophet ﷺ told us about the removal of trustworthiness. First, he told us the history. This is how amana was established in our hearts and how we were empowered to be able to now unlock this amana and fulfill the responsibilities and preserve and protect this amana. So the Quran and Sunnah gave us all the ethical responsibilities and the moral responsibilities in terms of how we fulfill our duties and how we maintain the amana. Then Rasulullah ﷺ spoke about the removal of amana, how trustworthiness will be eradicated from the ummah. And in the hadith of Tabrani, the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, the first thing which will lead to the moral destruction of my ummah, the first thing to leave my ummah will be trustworthiness, amana. First thing to leave my ummah will be trustworthiness. And he said, how will this place? He said, the man would have a wink of sleep. He'll just fall off to sleep. And trustworthiness will be taken away from his heart, leaving the impression of a faint mark. Meaning, and this is literal nowadays. Some of the scholars have given, in those days they gave a, like a symbolic interpretation. It means heedless. No. Today, and we see it. We know people. Allah safeguard them, Allah protect them, Allah forgive them. We know of people whom we've known for years. You've dealt with them for years. You know these people to be trustworthy, upright, people of integrity, etc., etc. And then overnight, the man changes. You spoke to him yesterday. You did a deal with him yesterday. And overnight, a man you've dealt with for over 25, 30 years of your life, next day, he just does you down. And what Rasulullah ﷺ described it as, he said, this man would have a wink of sleep and trustworthiness would be taken away from his heart, leaving the impression of a faint mark. That's all that is left. He was full of trustworthiness. His heart was full of it. And all of a sudden, overnight, all gone. Then the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, he would again sleep, meaning it's not going to get any better. And trustworthiness will be taken away from his heart, leaving an impression of a blister, as if you rolled an ember on your foot. And I don't know what's the word, there's a very fancy word here in terms of medical science, right? So he said, basically what happens is that, it becomes like a blister and full of pus. Okay? So the Prophet of Allah is telling you, he said, first it will be removed, and thereafter whatever is left of that trustworthiness, even that will be plucked out, so to speak. When you cut something and it will blister, it will be full of pus, as if you're trying to remove an ember from your foot. If you've seen that, it just like bubbles up so quickly. And the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would see a swelling having nothing in it. Meaning, all of trustworthiness is gone from his heart. And Rasulullah was so particular about this description that the Prophet of Allah literally took, I should have actually done that in terms of sunnah. That's how scholars of hadith do it. I'm not one of them, but the scholars of hadith do it. They would literally follow the sunnah. And he rolled a pebble under his foot to describe the ember. How that you would create an impression on your foot and how it would burn your feet from underneath? And those who do fire tramping and all that, you'll know about that. Right? How it would burn your feet beneath there. The Prophet of Allah rolled it and he described it like this, that ember on a foot. And then the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam then gave the outcome of trustworthiness being taken away from the hearts of people in the end of days. And he said, now listen to this. The Prophet of Allah said, the people will enter into transactions amongst one another. So you're going to go to a financial management company who provide you financial management services. Okay? You're going to go to a Muslim investment company. Okay? And they tell you, come invest with us. And the Prophet of Allah said, he said, they will enter into transactions amongst one another, and hardly a person would be left who would return things entrusted to him. Sadaqa Rasulullah. What did he say? You came there, you took your hard-earned pension money, you took your hard-earned, 40 years of savings. And what did you do? You transacted with a certain company. We are a financial management company. We are a Muslim investment company. Or we are a massive, large corporation that has shares on the JSE, etc. You took all your money and you invested it with them. And what happened? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stated, and he said, those people that you entrusted with your wealth, with your hard-earned money, the Prophet of Allah said, right, and hardly a person will be left who would return things entrusted to him. They're going to take it away. And then he described the people. This is where I was like mind blown. The Prophet of Allah gave examples. Look at his examples. وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. And now keep in mind what we have been experiencing in the past few days, weeks, months, years. And the Prophet of Allah gave you 2 examples of the people that you would entrust your money to and your life savings to, and they will take you for a ride. And he gave 2 examples, and he gave 2 characteristics and qualities. He says, and there will be such paucity of honest persons till it will be said, there will be so few honest persons left, then it will be said, there is in such a tribe a trustworthy man. There's the first example. Who's the trustworthy man in the end of times? People will base their trust in, use it as a benchmark for trusting a person based on the fact that he belongs to a certain tribe. In our modern days, we don't use the word tribe. We say prominent family. We say he belongs to this clan, or he belongs to this language group. So, for example, he may be, I'm talking about local here, he may be Toza, he'll be Bantu, he'll be Zulu, he'll be Cockney, he'll be Memon, he'll be Surti. But from amongst them, right, for example, he said, no, but he's from this tribe. This prominent family, Banu Musa, Bani Isa, Bani Yaqub. You understand? They will say, he is a trustworthy person. Why? Socially and culturally, they have good pedigree. So let's trust them. Now, how much more do you want it? He even broke it down, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to the social, cultural, racial, language group you belong to, and the tribe that you belong to. And today, who do we trust? Think about it, okay? Then the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, he gave one. Then he said, they would be also say about a person, how prudent is he? How broad-minded is he? How intelligent is he? Second example. So all of us say, hey, no, invest with this guy. Do you know he has years of experience in corporate management? He's a chartered accountant. He's like this one here. He's a lawyer. He knows all the tricks of the trade. You know what? He's done so much of business and brought in so much of business for Investec and for this company. Now he's a... So they'll use his social, cultural, tribal affiliations to judge his trustworthiness, or they will use his intellectual and academic pedigree to trust him and to base it on his trustworthiness. And the Prophet of Allah said about both. He said, ignore their cultural, social, racial, intellectual backgrounds. Don't bother about the fact that they are broad-minded, intelligent, and they belong to this fancy tribe and that fancy family. Ignore it, because the Prophet of Allah said, whereas in both their hearts there'll be no faith even to the weight of a mustard seed. They won't have faith, iman in their hearts, enough to the size of a mustard seed. Huzaifa al-Yaman then responded to this hadith. He said, I have passed through a time. Huzaifa al-Yaman said, I have passed through a time in which I did not care with whom amongst you I entered into a transaction. For if he was a Muslim, his faith would compel him to discharge his obligations to me. And if he were a Christian or a Jew, the ruler, the government, would compel him to discharge his obligations to me. But 1400 years ago, Huzaifa al-Yaman is saying, but today I will not enter into a transaction with you except so and so. That was 1400 years ago. Imagine Sahibu Sir Huzaifa al-Yaman today. Sadaqa Rasulullah. This, you know what, I promise you personally I'm speaking about. This is one of the scariest hadiths in terms of how genuine the prediction of the Prophet of Allah ﷺ is that I've come across in recent weeks or months or whatever it is. One of the scariest. Now, keep this in mind and look at what we have witnessed in the past few days, weeks, months, years, in terms of the fact that we have seen prominent financial management companies, Muslim investment companies going down, going bankrupt, taking people's money, hiding behind, fancy taxation laws and this and that, or using the liquidation act and liquidating themselves. How many prominent, thriving businesses have gone into business rescue? How many people's hard-earned money has been taken in one form or the other by unscrupulous people? That's what it is. Take it or leave it. And I'll prove it to you with an ayat of the Holy Quran. Listen to this verse of the Holy Quran. I want you to go back and read it. Quran says, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. Do not eat up each other's property by false means. Don't eat it up by false means. Then, no approach it with the authorities. Don't use taxation laws. Don't use the liquidation issues. Don't use this one here. Don't use this tax avoidance thing. No, I'm liquidated inside there. I'm bankrupt. You know what? I don't have any assets in my name. Right? So you're hiding behind the authorities. You're hiding behind all legal speak. Do not eat up others' property by false means. No approach it with the authorities to eat up a portion of the property of the people sinfully, while you know that you are unjust in doing so. You know what you are doing. You know what you're doing. You know, and I've heard this so many times, people proudly talking about it. No, I took that over, right? I'll do this one here, I'll jippo it like this one inside here, I'll just declare bankruptcy, and then I'll open up a shell company, and then I'll buy that back for 20 cents to a rand. Or, sorry, Maaf, I can only pay you 20 cents to a rand now. See, I'm gone bankrupt. Where's all your assets? No, I don't have any assets. Who's got assets? No, my wife. Wow. MashaAllah, man. Your wife who lived at home for the past 40 years. She's got 40 million worth of assets. You know what you're doing. You know what you are doing. All these Ponzi schemes, people, you can't tell me all our intelligent chartered accountants and lawyers and all of these people involved in all of these things here, right? Investment bankers didn't know that, no. You see, now it started off very nicely possibly, but after a while it's become a Ponzi scheme. Nobody knew that. You didn't know that. You didn't know it's going to crash. But I don't know finance, and I can tell you that. What happened to a plus minus 150 lawyers? I'm not judging them. Like plus minus 150 lawyers of Amal and accountants of Amal, and up to about maybe 500 who are not part of Amal, Association of Muslim Accountants and Lawyers. None of them you could approach and say, look here, are we doing business in a very ethical way or not? Tell me. What is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam telling us? Look at the Holy Quran is telling you. These two ayats alone are enough to make us, shake with fear. And what is the problem? Why are Muslim businesses failing? Why are Muslim businesses failing? Why is it that everything Muslims touch all of a sudden seems bullish, and then after that, gone? Why? Rasulullah gave the answer. Listen to this hadith of Rasulullah. Again, Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. Muttafaq alayhi hadith this is. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a man came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Sahabi came, he said, Ya Rasulullah, give me. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave him. And then he asked the Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, give me. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave him. And then he said, Ya Rasulullah, give me. And the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam looked at him. And this is the lesson for us. He encapsulated all of the issues of the fitna of wealth that the Muslim community will have to experience in this one ayah. And he gave us a psychology of the Muslim mind, so to speak. He said, this wealth is like green and sweet fruit. It's alluring, right? It's enticing. It's there. Sweet, green and sweet fruit. And whoever takes it without greed, Allah will bless him for it. The wealth is there. Take it lawfully. Number one. Take it ethically. Take it morally, right? But take it without greed. Take it without greed. If, however, but whoever takes it with greed, Allah will not bless it for him. Khalas. Allah will not bless it for him. If you took it with greed, the moment you had the need for greed, and I will explain to you how we end up in a state, no use me just telling you greed. I want to break it down for you. And he said, Allah will not bless you, and he will be like the one who eats, but is never satisfied. Isn't that the story of our lives? How much is enough? How much is enough? The more you see, the more green you see, the dollar, Abdullah is gone for it. No, I need a little bit more. No, right now, I'm only getting 7%. It's only coming, let me do one more. And he's never satisfied. Allah will not bless it. There's no blessing in it. Khalas, finish, it's all over. And then the Holy Prophet said, an upper giving hand is better than the lower taking hand. That's another philosophy for all the people out there who plead poverty. He spoke about the rich ones, but he spoke about the poor ones as well. Don't have this poverty mindset. And some of us are very rich, but we're still very poor. How do we have this? I'm going to use 3 examples. And I've been interviewing businessmen, and I've been interviewing people in terms of investment bankers and all of these people to get my answers here. So it's not merely, me just to conjecture here. It's basically from people of experience. What is greed? First one, why do Muslim businesses fail? 3 C's. Lack of compliance. Lack of compliance. The Muslim businesses lack any form, most of them, of compliance and governance. We are always looking for the shortcut. Make a plan, boss. Where's the loophole? Where's the loophole? We have no structures in place. We have no, systems to monitor what is taking place. Nothing of the sort. Find a shortcut. Find a loophole, right? We need to find something there that will give us more than what we have. Or more. So if it means you taking the banks, take them for a ride. If it means you leave, tax avoidance is an accounting matter. Tax evasion is what's priority number 1. Ask any chartered accountant. He will tell you when the client talks to him, he's not talking about tax avoidance. He's talking about tax evasion. He's just telling the chartered accountant, just make it legal. If I'm wrong here, please correct me. Okay, how can I hide from the transfer duty? How can I do this? How can I not pay the government? Lack of compliance, lack of governance. And what happens is that the examples, right? Lack of compliance and governance. And a consequence of that is a lack of conscience. We will do anything. We will do anything and everything to maximize our profit and maximize our gain at any expense. Not bothered about who is hurt in the whole thing. Who it affects, not interested. I'll give you an example of this, and this is a very important one, right? We are not prepared to take into consideration, to put into cost factor of the whole thing. So look here, what will it cost me to create a structure inside there wherein we can work effectively? Our business can run in the long term. No. I want short-term gains. So what will we do? I need to avoid tax. Now let me show how Muslim businesses fail. I need to avoid tax. What do? I need to increase expenses. That's what the chartered accountant tell you. You need to expense. What do we do? How do we increase expenses? No problem. Buy my life in one car. Make him an employee in a business. He's 19, 20 years old. Buy him a car. Then the new trend is bring the wife in as an executive director. She'll come inside there, waltz in, after her Pilates or whatever it is inside there, with a latte in the hand inside, and walk inside the shop. Executive director. Executive director. But in our desire for tax avoidance, which is now to feed our greed, we'll turn our wives into executive directors they were executive housewives. Now they became executive business directors who know nothing about business at all. Or our sons, I'm not going to be, in any way judgmental in terms of gender, or our sons who know nothing about anything, failed in matric, got him into the shop inside there. All of a sudden, people who have been working for you for the past 40 years, people who've been working for the past 40 years, who've helped you grow your business and develop your business to the level that is, all of a sudden become answerable to little, maaf karna, right? Twit. No. Twit, if you didn't understand, it's not a slang. Twit means baby goldfish. That's what, check it up. Okay, baby goldfish. And Hazrat Ji starts to earn 40, 50,000 rand. Because why you need to come into business? Hold on a minute. What's the problem? Why is your business failing? The person who worked for you for 40 years is still earning 8,000 rand a month, and your son who just walked into the business is earning 40,000 rand a month. So you would rather give your wife, your children, your extended family, all of this extra money from your business instead of really investing it in those people who make your business successful. There was a study done by bankers. I've been interviewing people. They studied a plus minus about 8 or 9 large businesses in KZN with over 100 employees in each one of them. And they worked out what the wage bill is. It worked out to the fact that these businesses, large businesses, Muslim businesses in this country, were paying on average, you just work out, the banker will tell you, see that, what's your wage bill for the year? They worked it out amongst the people that they employed. It was working out to on average 8,000 rand that a Muslim business is paying its average worker. Now you tell me how you're going to survive on 8,000 rand. But you ask them, where are your expenses? No, see the expenses, car expenses for the year, for the month, sorry. 150, 200,000. Why? The husband's got an ML, the wife's got a Porsche, the son he's got an M3. By the time those three cars, or Audi A8, right? By the time those cars go out, you've already got a whole portion of the money. But the poor worker who's working for you past 20 years, he's still getting his 8 grand. So he sees the son, imagine now, he sees the son rocking up there with an Audi A8 or R8 or whatever it is, rocks up there. Huh? Wait, I'm still taking a bus. And that car, I worked for. The worker worked for. And you know what? Someone will tell me, hey, shut your mouth, mind your own business, man. I can do with my money whatever I want to. And the best sadaqah is the sadaqah on your own family. Hey, talk to somebody else, not me. You know what Allah said? Go ahead. I dare you do that. Tell me that. Mind your own business. I'll do with my money what I want to. Not you have to tell me how much. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Hadith Qudsi, Allah will oppose people on the day of the resurrection. One, who is Allah going to stand up against on the day of Qiyamah? Listen to this. The Prophet of Allah said, a man who gives his word by me, I swear by Allah, wallahi, qasam wallahi, I swear by Allah, but proves to be treacherous. Allah says, I will stand up against him. One. Number two, a man who sells a free person into slavery and usurps his price. Can you see? All financial fraud. Listen to the third one. All of you people who are underpaying your staff, but overpaying your family members. Listen to this. And a man who employs a worker and receives a completed job, but does not pay him his wages. You know this, I hear it 100 times over. The guy is making me do 2 jobs, but I'm still getting paid the same amount. Allah is going to oppose you on the day of Qiyamah. Oppose me? Tell me shut my mouth. Tell me mind my own business. Go tell that to Allah on the day of Qiyamah. Alimun Khabir. Tell me. Lack of conscience. We don't bother. Muslim businesses don't bother about the impact on the community, the impact on the environment, right? The impact on the community in general, and the impact on in terms of their own businesses, in terms of some of the deals they engage in. They don't care whether it is ethically, morally correct what they are doing. Right? If it means polluting the rivers, pollute the river. If it means, putting the electricity off by mistake because you have large industries and so on, you're not paying the electricity, switch this thing off, tell the guy to come inside, jippo the entire thing. Yeah. And then, third thing is that the qualified people that we should be employing, we don't want to employ. Why? Because that will eat into our own personal profit. So instead of you having a qualified chartered accountant, having a qualified lawyer, having a qualified business person or person running your marketing department inside there, no, put my lighting inside there. No, don't, I'll handle this myself. I'll overdo it. Why? Because you know what? If I employ him, I've got to pay him a market-related wage. Yesterday I spoke to a businessman. I told him back, why do Muslim businesses fail? Gave me two answers. And everybody's telling me the same thing. Obviously it's correct. He said one is lack of unity. Lack of unity. We want to do each other down. We want to do each other down. We will see a Muslim business failing. That person may be a family member of yours. You know his business is failing, and you are standing there. That rubbish. I remember. He threw me off my bike when I was 13 years old. Right? I'm waiting. Let him fall. They know full well that this person made an offer. This person made an offer. That person made an offer. He will come inside the boss. There's it here. I make you an offer. Kazi, you're my Kazi. I'll put you inside there. He'll take it for a song. He know he's done the, and these are genuine guys who really went down, right? Not the guys who gabgal the whole thing. He'll take the business over. He'll give it to him for a paltry sum, which he borrowed from the bank, by the way. He just leveraged his own assets to lend the money to get that company out of trouble. Okay? And then he'll take the business there, break it up, sell it for a profit, and tell you, hey, I was sorry, Papa. I was sorry. Tell me if I'm lying. Tell me if I'm lying. How many vultures wait? I can't wait for this one to go down. I can't wait for him to go down. I'll take it over. I'll do this, we'll do that. Nothing. You know what the best part is? Oh, mind you, all of these are not only particular to the Muslim community. The kuffar do it as well. We have had the Steinhoff thing there. We have Pick n Pay is in trouble in one form or the other right now. We know all of that. I'm talking about the Muslim community in particular. Why we go down. This is one of the reasons. And you will see that the Muslim company will be the first one to take legal action against you, especially when you're owing them money. Yet the Prophet of Allah said, give the man, if he's genuinely in debt, give the man a chance to pay. Yet the same, why Muslim businesses fail? Another reason here. The rich man who has enough money to pay will refuse to pay. He'll pull you for 30, 60, 90, 120, 180. You know the Prophet of Allah said, a man who has the means to pay is a zalim. And he doesn't pay. And he's making the other guy hang for it. He's a zalim. How many of us are people are zalims? Why do you take advantage of the fact, you know what, I'm a corporate entity inside there, I can make you hang. You want my business, you give me 6 months to pay. And what you doing with it? It's in a call account. Earning profits. Huh? You know, there's an example that was given. I think it was the guy who owns Budvest. He's a Jewish guy, right? I think some Joff guy. He heard that one of his people in the synagogue got into trouble. Okay, do you know what he did? True story. You know what he did? He went to the guy. He told the guy, I see you in trouble, no problem. I'll buy your company from you at a market-related price. And let me show you the difference. If it was a Muslim, kaziba. Boss. Hamara che, apda wala che. Right? Don't worry. How much is the thing today? 5 million. Come on, look, I don't have, but I want to help you. Nonsense. Right? I'll give you 3 million. That was desperate. Okay, take it at 3 million. He took a loss of 2 million. No problem, take it at 3 million. This guy knows he could have given the 5 million. What did this Yahudi do? He gave it to him at a market-related price. Then he told the guy, now, I bought it, I'm your partner in this business, run it the way you are running. Run it the way you are running. Handle your business. I'm a partner inside there. Eventually, you can buy me off. I did the deal. Today, ask the Muslim. Ask the Muslim. Lack of unity. And what did Rasulullah said? Greed. Greed. We want to outdo one another. We know we are doing people down. We won't think nothing of it. I've heard of horror stories. Horror stories. When people will preach to you about deen, they'll preach to you about deen. They'll preach to you about Iman and Sunnah and Quran and this and that. And the same fellow, big daddy, big honcho, will go out there and engage in, set up a Ponzi scheme and take everybody for a ride. And then they'll go for Umrah. And they'll wash their hearts with Zamzam. And you know what the best part is? Unfortunately, we don't call them out in our community. And I want to call this out. You know, when we had this problem a few months ago with a management company that was there in existence for many years. But eventually, at one point or the other, it just, hundreds of families lost money. Right, literally right on my left-hand side. There was khiyana in Amana. Okay? What? Oh, happened. When that happened, do you know, I can speak about it now. I don't know of anybody who spoke out against it or wrote about it from the prominent leaders in our community, the akabir in our community. I checked up on it. Nobody spoke about it. I did. Right? Up until today, I'm waiting for one organization or one publication that always publishes the most vile articles you can think of, calling everybody this and calling everybody that, to write one single article about that debacle a few years ago. Why? Why it didn't happen? Can't speak about our own people, the people who line our pockets in one form or the other, either like this here or like that. Nobody spoke about it. But yet, for everything else, the article will be out within 1 hour, it will be out. What happened? Yeah. And the other issue is, as long as you have credibility in the community, and when I mean credibility, I mean if you are coming from, like the Prophet of Allah said, from a prominent tribe. You understood the word tribe? Prominent tribe, prominent family, right? And they have wealth, and they have this, the power that they have is because of the power of their money. Nobody asked how the money was earned, but because they can cause you harm because of their money, and they can, drop your status. Nobody opened them out, and they have the protection of the big Hazrats and the Maulanas. See, he hangs around with so and so. He's part of this Jamaat, he's part of this group, and so on. He said, no, they are untouchable. They are untouchable. No corporate social responsibility, no accountability. You speak about them behind their backs. But when you come inside the masjid, how are you? Assalamu alaikum, how are you? You okay? Hazrat. Behind his back, you're going to tell him, hey, bloody chore. Tell him on his face, man. Or don't talk to him. But call them out on it. Call them out on it. So far, who's been persecuted? Who's been prosecuted so far? In any of these matters? Nobody. We just went to business rescue. Oh, we went into this one here. Oh, we liquidated. Maaf karna. But who suffers? Who suffers? Yeah. High time we woke up. And you know who the biggest suckers are? You. If these people establish these Ponzi schemes and all of these things here, it's our greed. To make a quick buck. Not to work hard. Not to work hard. Make a quick buck. Quick return. 13%, 17% return. How unrealistic. Wake up, man. Oh, you don't see that. Because of our greed. Because, no, I want to, there's no such thing as retirement in the Muslim community. Get over this idea. Work till you drop dead. Acquire knowledge till you drop dead. That's the Islamic way. Don't sit there for the next 15 years expecting that, you know what, this person is going to manage your money and you get this thing from me to retire. Forget about it. Not in this day and age. The Muslim community has been taken for a ride too many times for us to fall for this thing for the next. The next time I see this, I'm telling you, see, all of you people, come here, stand up. You all invest inside it. Please go outside the masjid. This talk is not for you. The Prophet of Allah said, the believer is not sung twice. I won't literally do that, you understand? The believer is not sung twice. You don't make the same mistake again. And the next time you see like this one here, call them out. Tell them, look here, we want an ethics committee. We want an oversight committee from the very beginning. If you don't have any of these things inside here, and there's no transparency, we're not going to be investing. And we call them out. It's high time we did this. And our Muslim businesses who know they're going down, and they take so many other Muslim traders who takes them 3, 4, 5 years to recover, if they ever recover. Call them out. Don't stand and see. The next time you saw them, say, hey, how are you, boss? You okay? Yeah, mashallah, subhanallah. Because that gives them some degree of legitimacy. And no accountability, lack of accountability. And within 1-2 years, they'll be back on the thing inside there, and everybody will go inside there. Allah give us Soofie and Hidayah, inshallah ta'ala. Allah forgive us. Allah wake up this community. Look at this hadith of the Prophet of Allah. Sign of the end of times. And we sing it now so regularly. And in our community that, you know what, like, I say, what's the latest? I asked the day, what's the latest controversy in the Muslim community? We start off with something new. Allah give us Soofie and Hidayah.